Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shantihi 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 Om. Mandukya Upanishad, the first mantra. Om is everything. The time and the space, their evolution, their involution, everything is Om. Anything apart from this, beyond this, even that is Om. To an ordinary mind, this statement appears to be weird. How is it possible that from a sound, a word, or a syllable, because Om in its capacity can be also termed as a syllable and is also a word combination of three different syllables? How is it possible that the entire creation, the time and space, along with everything, evolves from Om? How is it possible? And how is it possible to even imagine? How can be there a possibility that whenever there is a final involution, then everything shall dissipate, dissolve into Om, into its source? Not easy for any ordinary mind to comprehend and connect, to absorb this statement. But this fact can be only understood when you initiate upon a spiritual pursuit with discipline. These words will be commonly shared whenever we talk about anything upon Upanishad. Because Upanishads are experience, they are to be experienced, they are an observation. They are a confinement of the observation, the process of observation into the observer to such an extent that nothing remains balanced. Here in Om as well, this is conveyed by the Exalted One that Om is everything. Aum-ity-etad-aksharam-idam sarvam. It is everything. The entire manifestation is sourced to Om. When you are under the spiritual pursuit with the discipline for a prolonged period of time, then you realize that when I practice Om, a moment comes when there is a phase of nothingness. There is no observation left for time to be considered. It becomes non existent. That space of nothingness, everything merges into a mahashunya. Nothing left. Ineffable to express it. We may not be in a position to stay in such a state for prolonged periods of time, but we have certainly experienced it. Number of times, a fairly large number of times, when this nothingness was there, which could not be questioned. When you're into it, then you cannot make out what it exactly is going on. But when you come out of it and you recall what was going on, and that recall leaves you nowhere because there is nothing which you can recall. Was I sleeping? At times, seekers they question when they come out of this kind of a submersion. They question, I'm not sure whether I was sleeping or I was in a trance. Where was I lost? I have no idea. I cannot say anything with full support of any evidence that where was I. Although then we question them in a different manner to support that they were not in any kind of spell of inertia. Because if you come out of inertia, the biological expressions, the experience within your brain is entirely different. But when you come out of a state of mahashunya, of nothingness, then everything is totally different. So we do convey them. But here, within a limited capacities, we have to understand that Om is the only source wherefrom arises this entire manifestation. And whenever the opportune moment for dissolution shall arrive, it shall again submerge into it. Because Om is everything. It is that primordial sound which led to the entire manifestation. The 24 vibratory modes of Gayatri, 24 forces of Gayatri, triggered under the realms of Om itself. So, Om is the source of everything, the visible, the invisible, something that the intellect can comprehend and something which is beyond intellect to even comprehend. Everything falls within the ambit of Om. Om is everything. And that is what this mantra conveys. And it stretches its reach to encompass time within it, past, present, future. Everything is in it, out of it, shall go into it. And it also goes on to stretch and say that anything beyond time, that is space, is also sourced to Om. So time and space from Om, time and space shall dissolve into Om. Om is everything. When we conclude any program, there is a fixed phrase that we use every time we chant it, Om Hi Satya. It is the only truth. It is the only truth that can withstand test of anything, any test, because it is everything. A seeker, none other than a seeker, can experience the depths of this mantra. For others, there are questions left that shall remain suspended into their mind unless they experience it for them, their own self, within themselves. Intellect can never fetch an answer the to the question that how is it possible that everything has evolved from a letter, a syllable, a sound. A seeker shall always be able to connect under a discipline in a prolonged period of sadhana. Things then unravel, they reveal themselves to the seeker. And then within the limited capacity of the intellect of a seeker, a larger truth manifests where you have no room, no scope to doubt, nothing to question, because that is a domain where there are no questions left, nothing to be verified or endorsed. It is it. It is. When it is it, then there's nothing left to question. We shall come down to the second mantra of the Upanishad and then it shall be concluded. And thereafter, whenever the opportune time arrives, we shall also take into our classes the interpretation of Mandukya Upanishad by Brahma Rishi Gaudapadacharya Maharaj. For the time being, we shall get into other classes of the Vedanta under the series of Vedanta, Echoes in the Lights of Upanishads. And to say, Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shantihi 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 Om ओम ही सत्य है, ओम ही सत्य है, ओम ही सत्य है.